Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura, aka Glow with Lulu, and today I'm going to be filming a full face of Fenty Beauty. Before moving on to the tutorial, it would mean a lot to me if you guys subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I post. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that I recently placed a huge Fenty Beauty order. I do have a lot of Rihanna's products, but there were some new releases like the mascara, we have the new eyeliners, the new snap shadows. So there's going to be a couple of first impressions in this video along with some products that I have tried before. I'm going to be starting off with priming my face, obviously. So this is the Fenty True Matte Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. I've actually never used this before, but I have always wanted to try it out. So we're going to be testing it out in today's video. Alright, so I think I'll start off with like maybe one pump and then just build it up from there. Okay, very runny primer. It smells exactly like the foundation. It actually feels super nice on the skin. I was worried it would be too drying. So my face feels super matte. I just want to look up close to see if it blurred out my pores. It did blur out some, not so much. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I am noticing, I don't know if the camera will be able to pick it up, but if you can look at my fingertips, there is some kind of peeling going on. It could be reacting with my moisturizer maybe. If you do ever experience that, just grab like a nice any powder brush, or I like to use big doe foot brushes, and I just kind of like wipe it around my face. Use a clean one, of course, and this will get rid of any of that. Okay, but other than that, it feels so smooth. It did blur out my pores, not so much the bigger ones that I have, but the ones on my nose, which aren't as big as the ones on my cheeks, those look pretty blurred out. Okay, so I usually like to let my primer sit and get absorbed into the skin. So while waiting for that, I'm going to be doing the eyes. So to start off, I'm going to be starting off with brows. This is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP Ultra Fine Brow Pencil and Styler in the shade Medium Brown. I've used this product before and I do really like it, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through this part. I'm going to lightly clean those up with some concealer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes. This is the Fenty Pro Filter Amplifying Eye Primer in the shade Invisi Pink. I believe this is the only shade. So this is supposed to be one of those translucent eye primers. I'm gonna put this much on and I'm gonna pat it down with my fingers. Not sure if I put enough, but it does feel really tacky. Like this feels like it's gonna really grip onto eyeshadows and make them last a lot longer. Although I'm not usually a fan of those translucent eye primers, I prefer something that's gonna cancel out the discoloration on my lids. Okay, so when I saw Kathleen Lights review this primer, she recommended you let it sit for a couple minutes, because if you put shadow on top when it's still too tacky, it's gonna get really patchy and the shadow is gonna be hard to blend. So you're supposed to let it sit for a minute or two before applying shadow. So for eyeshadow today, I'm obviously going to be going into the new snap shadows. These are actually harder to unsnap than they are to snap. Oh god. Got it. Okay, so I got two. I got the number 4, which is the Rose eyeshadow palette. So the Rose one comes with 3 matte eyeshadows, 2 shimmers, and what looks like to be a pressed glitter or more of a foiled eyeshadow. I'm gonna do a couple of swatches. This is the shade Lil Miss. And then we have the shade Sugar Shock, which is one of the shimmers. This is called Diva Fiva, which is the pressed glitter eyeshadow. Oh, okay. I don't think it's like really a pressed glitter. It's more like a kind of satin eyeshadow with the glitter particles in it. Next up we have the number 8 Snapshadow, which is the Pastel Frost color. This is the only palette with all shimmers in them. Alright, so this is the color Ice Cream Kisses. We have the color Moulala. I really like that. And then we have the color Dirty Denim. Okay, so right off the bat, the shimmers in the Pastel Frost eyeshadow palette are actually a lot more buttery than the ones in the Rose. So I did notice that the matte one is a bit patchier, whereas if you look at the Moroccan Spice palette from Fenty, the mattes are a lot more pigmented and more buttery. So I'm going to be using a mixture of the Moroccan Spice palette and as well as the Pastel Frost eyeshadow palette. I'm going to stay away from the Rose palette for now because the lip colors that I have from Fenty don't really match. One thing that I really like about the Snapshadows is that she actually put the colors along with the names on the back, whereas with the Moroccan Spice palette you just have the names, so it's kind of confusing as to know which color is what name. I'm going to be dipping into the shade Cumin Get It and Quicksand for my transition shade. Picking them up on a Morphe M441. I'm going to do my usual technique of starting at the front of the brow and blending backwards. So far the eyeshadow is blending really beautifully, not noticing any patchiness with the eye primer. But my only downside is, again, you're able to see my veins and my discoloration through, which is why I don't like these kind of transparent eye primers. I'm going to add a bit more definition with the color Spice Strip. Picking this up on a Sigma E45 brush. And I'm going to focus that kind of underneath where we applied that transition shade. And only on the inner portion of the lid or the crease. An interesting thing, oh my god, I just realized I forgot to zoom you guys in for the eyes. Okay, I don't know if you guys are going to be able, if the camera's going to pick it up, but there's something really weird happening on this eye. You know when like your concealer is too heavy and it's too matte and too dry, and then it starts looking like there's like little squares. It's like looking like bathroom tiles. That's what the eyeshadow is looking like right in this kind of section. But that could be, you guys know that my acne cream does dry me out a lot, and it does sometimes dry out my lids, so that could be from that. Again, I don't know if the camera is going to pick up on it. It doesn't look that bad from far though. For the lid, I'm first picking up the color Desert Baked on a flat concealer brush, and I'm focusing this on my outer lid. So the eye primer is actually making these look a lot more foiled than they usually are, which I like. I'm gonna go back into that Sigma brush and just blend out the edges. Now I'm gonna dip into the number 8 Snapshadow. I'm picking up the color Laid Up. I'm gonna try it on dry first, and then if I feel the need for it, I'm going to wet it. Ooh, I really like this color. So I'm going a bit harsh on the edges over here because I want to create the illusion of a cut crease. Also, one thing to note is that there's absolutely no fallout so far from any of the eyeshadows. Next up, we are going to do eyeliner. I actually have the colored liquid liners that Fenty Beauty has. I forgot what the name of the entire set that I have, but I have the one that comes with the white, the yellow, and I also have the pink one. But for today's look, I'm going to be sticking to these two colors. I've actually never used these before. Okay, this is very pigmented. The problem with me is that I have really long eyelashes. So liquid liner just does not do it for me. Oh my god, this is so bad. This is like the world's worst eyeliner. So these are actually pretty easy to work with for someone who absolutely sucks at liquid liner. Okay, I'm gonna potentially completely ruin this look by drawing a white line on top of the yellow. We're gonna move on to the base now. Okay, so I got a new shade of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I got the shade 210. I usually am a 240 in the summertime, but this is way too dark for me at the moment. So I'm gonna be applying this with a Fenty Beauty 110 foundation brush, which is just their buffing brush. I really like this for like my kind of everyday foundation routines. I feel like this puts on such a beautiful even layer of the foundation. I do notice that this foundation does oxidize. So yeah, keep that in mind when matching yourself in store. Like you can see, it's a lot lighter when I apply it versus my cheek area now that it's set down. And it does set down really fast, like really fast. Like you need to work in sections with this. Next up is concealer. Going in to the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer in the shade 230. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this where I usually would apply concealer. I'm almost out of this. And it did not occur to me for some reason to get a new one when I placed my Fenty Beauty order on Sephora. I keep having to dip in and like grab the stuff on the sides, and I do really like this concealer. I don't like it for full glam looks. I don't feel like it's full coverage enough for that. Although it does claim to be full coverage foundation, it does have really decent coverage, but I wouldn't say it's like full, if that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna go in and blend it out with the Fenty Beauty sponge. I actually really love this sponge, and it has such a nice shape. It's like flat on one end, so great for powder, and then round on the other, so it's great for blending out. And because this is getting a bit old, like I've had this for about a year now, it is getting a bit drier, so it's getting a bit harder to blend, but it's okay, we're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up with the concealer the sides of the eyeliner and kind of sharpen up the eyeshadow so that it aligns with the eyeliner. Obviously, because of my dry patch over here, my concealer is acting up, but that's not really the concealer's fault. If you watched my everyday makeup routine video, then you can probably see just how beautiful this concealer actually is. The only downside is that it's not that full coverage, but it's really nice for like natural makeup days. Okay, next up is a new product for me, at least. This is actually something Fenty Beauty has had for a while, but it is one of the matchstix matte skin stick. I got the shade Suede, which I'm going to be using for cream contouring. Okay, I'm curious to see what the shade is going to... Oh! I think it's going to be a bit too warm for me. But it's okay, you know what, we'll make it work. And I'll just go... If you watch my contouring 101 video, I'll link that down below. But one of my favorite contour products is getting discontinued. Or cream contour products, actually, is getting discontinued. And I got the Fenty one to test out to see if it could, like, compare to it. Wow, this is like super easy to blend. Oh my god. I was worried these would be like too matte, therefore too dry. Okay, now we're gonna set the face. I'm gonna be using the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I'm gonna be using the color Butter to set my under eyes and my T-zone, any areas that I highlighted basically, and the color Banana to set my contour areas. The dry patch is really acting up today. Huh. When I applied the powder, it like completely took off the some of the concealer. This is not from the product, you guys. I swear these don't usually do this. It's just because of my freaking acne cream, which doesn't even work, by the way. I don't know why I put myself through this, because my acne is still there. I've been using it for like 2 months now and I've seen no progress, so I don't even know why I still keep trying. I need to stop also applying powder on top of this because I feel like I'm just making it worse. I actually really love this powder. It really kind of smooths out the pores and it has a tiny bit of coverage, so it adds a bit more coverage as well. And it's super mattifying. I really like it. Okay, now we're gonna move back to the eyes. I'm gonna zoom you guys back in. We are now going to discuss this under eye. So this is the Fenty Beauty Flypencil Longwear Pencil Eyeliner in the shade Big Truffle. Okay, yeah, so this is the color of the pencil. I'm gonna tight line. I'm also going to, oh wow. Oh, this is pigment. Bringing it slightly down to my lash line, just on the outer edge. So I'm going to go back into the Moroccan Spice palette and I'm going to go into that Spice Strip color. Picking it up on a e.l.f. smudge brush, I'm going to smudge out that brown liner. It did set down pretty quickly, so keep that in mind if you want to smudge it out. There's not a lot of playtime with it. I'm bringing in the Come and Get It shade to the inner portion of my lower lash line. And now for the star of the show, the new Full Frontal Volume Lift and Curl Mascara from Fenty Beauty. This is the packaging. So stunning. And then the applicator on this. So you get a flat side. That's going to help curl your lashes and load the product, and then you have a fat side that's going to help volumize the lashes and really define them. The way I saw people use this online is they will go in with the flat side first to load the product, and then they will go into the fat side to define the lashes. Starting off with the bottom of the lashes and then going up. With the fat side, I'm gonna, again with these swiggly motions, just kind of run it through my whole brow. Look at the difference! This is with mascara. No mascara what's, oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try my lower lash lines now. We're gonna go ahead and move on to bronzer now. I have a mini of the Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is the Stalk'rr Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. Onto blush. Fenty Beauty don't really have any blushes, but they do have kind of like deeper colored highlighters that you can use as blushes. I'm gonna go into the Killawatt Freestyle Highlighter Palette. I think I'm gonna use the color Honey Slow. And I actually really like to use, especially for foiled or metallic blushes, the 120 highlight brush from Fenty. I feel like it has such a nice shape that hugs the cheekbones while you're applying blush. So I'm just gonna dip it into this color. I'm not gonna put too much because since this is a shimmery highlight, it's going to emphasize on my texture. I'm gonna apply some on my nose. And for highlight, I'm going into the Killawatt Foil Freestyle Highlighter Duo in Mean Money and Hustler Baby. I'm using the Hustler Baby color on the high points of my cheekbones. I'm actually going to dip back into the Pastel Frost highlighter not highlighter, I mean eyeshadow. I'm grabbing a little pencil brush. This is just a E30 from Sigma, and I'm gonna go into the green color, and I'm gonna use that as an inner corner highlight, just for like a nice pop of color. Okay, last up is lips. I do have two of the Mattemoiselles from Fenty that I feel like would look really pretty with this look. I have the colors Freckle Fiesta and Pumpkin Rose. Freckle Fiesta is just this beautiful burnt orange color. Pumpkin Rose is this really pretty kind of yellow-orange pumpkin color. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of Pumpkin Rose on the outer portions of my lip. And with my finger, I'm going to pat those down. Putting Freckle Fiesta in the center and blending those two out. I'm going to go into the Gloss Bomb from Fenty. This is in the color Fenty Glow. And I'm going to dot this in the center of the lips. Okay, so this is the final look of today's video. I feel like I look a bit like a clown, but it's okay, I'm a cute clown. Just a couple of thoughts on the new products. I absolutely love the mascara. I think this is going to be probably one of my favorite mascaras to use. The eyeliner as well is so pigmented. It went on the waterline super easily. I didn't have to go over it or anything. The only thing is it does set down pretty quickly, so if you're looking to smudge it out, just be aware that you don't have a lot of playtime with it. The snap shadows I think are super cute. It's a really cute concept. You can just snap them together like that, and you have an eyeshadow palette. The mattes, however, they did swatch a bit patchy. They're gonna obviously look different on the eyes, but just on my hand, at least this bright pink one was a bit patchy, which is completely different than the Moroccan Spice palette. And then I don't think I'll be a fan of this one. It's one of those kind of satin eyeshadows with glitter in them. It's not really like a pressed glitter or a foiled eyeshadow. I think it would have been a lot better if they actually did a foiled shadow. I'm gonna probably change the lip color. I feel like it's a bit too orange, but these were the only lipsticks that I have from Fenty Beauty. That is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified every time that I post a video. If you have any questions or recommendations for other videos, make sure to comment them down below and I'll be more than happy to answer. That is it for me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you guys next time. Bye!